What's up? Hey, yeah. I don't know what song I'm doing today.
And I say,
Yeah, yeah.
well, my name is Scott Stepp, and I sing all the songs here. Like a little
What's
girl.
going on? And I said, hey, yeah, yeah.
I can't remember who it was I saw cover that song live. It was, I want to say Filter. I was at a show with Filter, Chevelle, and Bush, and I think Filter did a cover of that song where their lead guitar player sang the chorus and like
Nailed it.
fucking killed it.
Nice.
Very interesting. I don't know why that just came to me, but I do have that
I don't
memory.
know. Just singing random shit. Hello.
Sid.
That's what I'm doing.
What is it about music like it's almost regardless of the genre, but it's typically in either like a pop style song or rock where they have to like say the A's and stuff like that differently. It's like said, yeah, all that kind of shit. Yeah,
I don't know.
because I don't know why, but like, well, I know why this is in my head. So my wife, when she's making food or whatever, or feeding the baby, she has him in his little, high chair thing, and she'll turn on her, I think it's an NSYNC Spotify list, and so I keep hearing all these old '90s pop songs, and they all sing that way, like "Am I sexual?" Like why do they have to
Every
do that to
every
the
group
words?
has their own thing.
But it's like universal with. I think it's more specifically with rock music though too, where everything's like, yeah, oh, ah,
That's like that's 90s music, yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
that-
rap has their stuff too. You know,
Like what? Bwah, bwah,
I don't know.
bwah. Apparently that's the thing now. What fucking gun sounds like that, sir? Clearly, this person has never used a firearm in their life.
I don't know. The handguns?
Yeah.
You're like literally like your fingers.
Oh yes. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, my water gun. I remember. Yeah, I think the airsoft guns I used to use maybe sounded like
Yeah,
that.
a little bit. Yeah,
Where they, but
yeah, with the
yeah,
like the
you're not
actual
going to find a
mechanical
real
stuff, yeah.
weapon like that. Hang on, I'm going to check one thing.
Check it out. What's it all about? I got nothing else. Just gonna be the singing podcast where I sing everything I say.
Are you going to do the Garth when Wayne leaves? When he freaks out?
Oh, it's been so long I forgot what he did.
Yeah, I don't remember specifically.
He's
but
just sitting there like
panics, he's
staring. He's just like,
yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. Well,
so ready for positivity cast?
yes. I hope. I'm hopeful that it will stay positive.
All
I feel
all I did was look at positive stuff. I was like,
I found some new subreddits by like taking that approach of trying to find positive shit.
I found a subreddit that just was uplifting news.
Yeah, I found good news. I found positivity was a subreddit. I found positive was another subreddit. I think there was one called uplifting, but it was all just music. And I was like, well, how do you define music as uplifting? I mean, that's fairly subjective.
No, I mean if it makes you feel better. No.
Right, but it may make me feel better, but it may make you want to kill yourself. Like Enya might make somebody feel better, and I just want to jump off a cliff. So,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
but no one sits there and listens to Cradle and Filth and goes, "Oh boy, I'm ready to go out and greet the day."
I really am a great guy. I feel awesome. Yeah, no, that's true.
So there's that.
Yeah, that's valid.
Someone just screeching at you. You're like, "Yeah, let's go do it. Let's go get some sun."
So I had to have this glass of scotch, and I don't know why, but I couldn't stop. Like during, even preparing for dinner, and then while eating dinner, and then for 30 minutes after, I just had this brutal craving for a glass of scotch.
Maybe you're an alcoholic now.
I had to do it, man.
Yeah, that's an issue. When you have a craving for something, that's an issue. Hey, stop that.
Yeah, literally the first time in weeks that's been.
Stop.
a real thing.
Being a jerk right now, bro.
So, yeah, it's it's not part of my diet, but I think I'll live.
Mm-hmm. All that
I've been-
sugar.
Dude, I've been fucking killing it lately.
Have you?
Yes.
Me too.
Looking lean and mean.
Yeah.
I think I'm almost down to 31 inches on my waist size, which is my waist hasn't been that small since I was probably 16 years old. Like nothing fits anymore. My pants just fall off.
Hmm.
It's fantastic.
Bet your wife loves that. Just whoop, pants off.
Pants off, dance off.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't complain about it. It's and I feel way better. I mean, I rode my bike for like 45 minutes today at about 2:30, maybe 3 o'clock. So it was hot as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Felt great. Still, I mean, obviously this is probably going to take me over for the day, but still usually under 2,000 calories every day. For sure, actually. I think the other day, what was that, Thursday? I want to say I took in about 1,100 calories for the entire day. It's been getting harder and harder for me to remember or even find the time to eat when I'm working lately. Like things are so crazy. I'll go 6-7 hours and just be like, oh, it's my day. The day's over now. You know, it's 5 o'clock, and I'm like, fuck. Still have 1,000 things to do.
You should set some like alarms or something.
Well, I mean, if I'm
Or
not hungry, I
reminders.
don't need to eat. I used to follow a completely different set of rules that was actually really bad for me the way I was eating, where I would on purpose, like as a rule, eat every 3 hours, like strictly. Even if I were still full, I would eat. Fucking stupid. Just a terrible thing to do. And the problem was it's not like I was eating clean. I was just eating food.
Mm.
Yeah, it wasn't smart. So I feel better now.
No, that's good for you. Why are you grabbing your chest? you
It feels
weirdo?
good
God.
sometimes. I got a nice rack. Just sometimes I like to touch them. Takes me home.
Why you? What?
To feeling guys' boobs.
Yeah, I was gonna say what?
That's what I grew up doing.
No bellies.
Oh, that's
it's-
your
it's
belly.
weird. Yeah, my
I
belly.
did grow up bouncing your belly in my hands. My wife was none
The
too
sta-
happy
the
that
statement.
that we actually did that at the wedding. She really wasn't excited about
Did we do that at the wedding?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah,
When did we do that at the wedding?
during your toast. Did you black out at my wedding?
No.
Yeah, during your toast, because you said you were telling the story about how you used to do that, and I came up and did it.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I don't remember much from that speech part because I was very nervous because I never met her parents before.
Mm.
So I was wanting to make sure and specifically thank them for everything, but I didn't know what to call them. Well, I met actually I've met her mom plenty.
Yeah.
It was her dad I'd never met before, so I was like, "Thank you, Mr. Kelsey." I was like, I didn't know his name. I
Could've
never
called
met him
him
before.
Colonel.
I was just like, this fucking guy. Thank you.
Hey, you bald guy. Thanks for the fucking steak. It was actually short ribs. It's delicious.
He's a very like stoic looking guy. So I was like, man, like I've never met you, never talked to you, so I was just like nervous.
Yeah, he doesn't fuck around.
Yeah.
He's a pretty serious guy.
Yeah.
I've gotten very much in his good graces, though. He loves me, and luckily, her sister's boyfriend makes my job very easy.
Is he a fuck up?
Oh man, I mean, all I have to do is shake his hand and not beat his daughter in front of him, and I'm golden. Like, it's real. The rule
in
set's
front
real
of
in
him.
front of him.
In
yeah.
front of him.
I mean, he knows I do it behind closed doors.
But you don't leave any marks.
Like not any
Right.
that she or anybody
Visible.
else can see. Like, she sleeps, with her back toward me, so I just give her some shots in the ribs
Kidney
behind.
Kidney
She can't see her
shots
back.
while she's just you're just working.
Just punching her in the ass.
uh,
Yeah. No, I love her. I
Yeah.
would never do that.
without her consent.
Well, I mean, I think I told you that story of that girl I walked out on having sex with, right?
Something. It was too much. It was like she wanted you to
she
choke
looked,
her.
Well, no, she looked at me. She's like,
Oh, punch me in the face.
no,
right? No. Which
she-
one was it?
She basically said, like, if I don't leave here black and blue, you have failed. And I was like, I'm just gonna hard pass on the whole rape case thing.
She's the
I
one
think
who
we'd known each other for about 9 days.
She's the one you met at the yacht club, right? At the bar?
Well, we had drinks there, but she worked in the industry. I
Yeah.
met her in the industry.
Yeah.
But that's where we like
Yeah. I know.
we
That's
kind
what I
of got
thought.
together one night or whatever. But yeah, I was back at her place and like things were progressing and we were getting ready to go there and then she said that to me and I was just like I'm out. I'm gonna go fucking
Please,
stroke
I
one.
really want to know how that went. Please explain to me exactly. Did you go, I'm out, or did you go, like I want to know exactly how it happened. Because I'm always curious about social situations like that when you're getting ready to fuck and then you're like, okay, this is too much for me. I have to leave. Like, how do you explain that? Like, I'm just curious at what.
Well, yeah. So
what
it
went through your mind
was,
during that?
I had finished warming up her nether regions orally, which is my greatest skill set. So I always start there, and that way my performance review is already shining, and I can, come in kind of below the radar if I have to. Like if I have an off night, I'm okay. So
you do good at the. It's like school semester when you're doing really good at the beginning. So later, whenever you start to have
those
your slump,
last 3 weeks, man, like
you
you're
don't wanna be
really
there?
relying on those first couple essays.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially the oral reports. So, yeah, I finished up that, and I think if I remember right, she was on her stomach, and I was behind her, and I was like, kissing her neck and her back and stuff. And she told me to smack her ass, and I was like, all right, cool. So I did, and she was like, harder, and I did a little harder, and she was like, she turned around, she goes, look, if I don't leave here black and blue, then you have failed. And I was like, I just kind of stopped, and I was like, what? And she's like, I want you to hurt me. And I was like, I just literally sat back, with just my dick up in the air, and I was like, hey, I'm not okay with like beating you. And she was like, no, I like it. It really turns me on. I was like, fair, cool, good for you. Not my thing. One, it really isn't. I like it a little bit rough, but like, I'm not going to hurt a girl. That's fucking weird. Because at that point, I'm 5'11", I'm about 200 pounds now. When I met her, I was probably 215. I was bigger, but I'm a strong dude either way. And that girl was probably 5'7", 115. She's little.
Mm-hmm.
I could fuck her up, like bad. I mean, my wife's my height. I could beat her to death in about a minute. Like, I have abnormal strength. So, like, if I were going to smack the shit out of a girl, it might really fuck her up. Especially if I missed and, like, hit her in the back of the head somehow or something.
Knocked her
just
out.
knocked her the fuck out. Donkey puncher. So, I just told her, I was like, hey, I'm not comfortable with that. I was like, and she basically said, like, I can't remember exactly what she said, but she basically said, like, if I wasn't going to get rough with her, then it wasn't going to happen. And I was like, well, then it's not going to happen. I mean, it was the first time we'd ever had sex. I think we'd known each other for 9 or 10 days. Like, look, if you're with a woman, like, if my wife starts asking me to do that kind of shit, I might be like, all right, we can step it up. Because there's an immense level of trust there. Like, we really know each other.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for a long time. Like, we have a baby. Like, we know each other. We know our boundaries, and I know, like, when she says stop or whatever, like, we get that. But in that situation, we were both drunk. I don't know this girl really at all. Like, I could have easily beaten the shit out of her while having sex with her, and then the next day the cops are at my door. Like, hey, this girl's all fucked up, and you had sex with her. Like, we can prove it. So, jail time. I was like, no, have a good day. So I just went home, rubbed one out. That was the end of that. We never hooked up after that either. And it started like hot and heavy. I mean, we had a couple, maybe 2 times where there wasn't intercourse, but we, fucked around or whatever. And then we started down that road immediately. And after that, it just got weird because I was like, well, is this how it's going to be every time that we get together? Like, I'm not really that into this. So that was very short-lived. She would have been fun. She was the second girl I've been with that, and this is kind of weird, but I've been with 2 girls who their voice, when they're really into it and like really about to, like, when they're about to come or something, their voice gets a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
It's so hard not to laugh at them.
Oh yeah. Oh.
It's
You're just like, what?
The first time I was with a girl like that, I was 17.
Oh, that had to freak
She
you
was
out.
24, 25, and we're in a hotel room in.
Houston?
No, she lived in Houston, so it must have been
Okay.
up here that we were in a hotel room.
Well, I was saying Houston just to see if it was that girl.
It was.
Okay.
I can't. Maybe
Well,
we
actually,
were,
I think I
I
told.
think
I think
we
you
were
told
in
me that story.
San
about it.
Marcos, but like we started getting into it, and she starts kind of moaning and shit, and all of a sudden, I mean, her voice was normally like pretty high, and then just started just, I was like, oh fuck, this is weird, man. I don't know if I can handle this.
I can't fit it.
Yeah.
Just immediate limp
Yeah.
inside of her.
Man, that girl taught me a lot. Like a lot. She was the first girl who was like telling me what to do, you know?
because she was
Which
older.
is a struggle for me because even when I was 17, I was like, no, I'm still in charge. Like, trust me, I know what I'm doing. And
and you
of
didn't
course
know
I
what you're
fucking
doing.
I had no idea. I still don't. I'm still just like jabbing with fingers and like trying to smack things and pulling on this and
Feels
that.
so bad for your wife. You're just like, honey, you like that?
yeah.
You like it? I'm just
I'm gonna just take my hand and just pancake and that's is that good?
just mush.
If I touch everything, I'll find something that feels good, right? Yeah. Oh man, yeah. So luckily, my wife makes perfectly normal and
Appropriate sounds.
sexy sounds during happy fun adult time, as we like to call it. Why the fuck would we call it that?
I think most guys enjoy like audible sounds from their women when they're having sex.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I do. So
Well,
I'm gonna just generalize all dudes. Then.
I mean, I've been with women who are all over the spectrum as far as like quiet or loud or aggressive or not or whatever, and it's it does
Yeah,
turn
just
me on.
Rub it in my face that I haven't had nearly as many partners.
Okay, sorry. No, it does turn me on, especially like when I'm going down on them if they're getting really into it. But they don't have to moan. Like for me, it's more that I can feel them.
No, yeah, you can tell.
Like
yeah,
when
yeah.
they start
But-
writhing and shit, then
but
I'm
it's
like, all right.
Yeah, there's that. There's the heavy breathing and things like that. That's more.
I've had a
Not-
couple girls multiple girls actually just pass out from that, which is always my goal because that's a story that they're going to tell their friends.
Like, Adam made me pass. I came so hard I passed out.
Yep. Yeah. Been there.
Or he slipped me some
Love
more
doing that.
Hypnol. I don't know.
Rape drug. Worst movie ever. Did you ever see that?
What?
Human Centipede?
No.
Oh, God bless.
No. There's some movies I just refuse to see just because the premise doesn't sound.
Don't do
great.
it.
I mean, it
I
sounds,
mean, if you want to get high and laugh your ass off, yeah, you should probably
yeah,
watch
it
it.
sounds funny. Like, I'm gonna sew your mouth to that guy's asshole, and then that guy's mouth to another guy's asshole. So it's probably the best to be the guy,
At the front.
the front,
Yeah.
or the back possibly, because hopefully a bunch of them will die from sepsis in between before you get shit in the mouth.
No, I mean not immediately. It's going to take them at least a week to go septic. So like
maybe they'll
you're
choke.
eating shit for a while.
Maybe they choke, and
That's
then you
true.
only get one shit in your mouth.
And how the fuck would he get that airtight of a seal with them still being able to breathe?
Yeah.
Their nose would be so jammed up in that ass crack.
And how you had to keep them out for a long time if it was gonna heal up enough to where
oh yeah.
as soon as
They'd
someone
be down
tried to
for a month.
like someone has a shit in your mouth, you're gonna rip your lips off to like
Yeah.
no
Yeah,
more.
no shit. I mean, how did he keep them attached? You can pull hard enough to pull out stitches. Fuck the pain.
Yeah.
Somebody's shitting in my mouth. I'll rip off my lips.
Yeah.
I can get those fuckers reattached.
Yeah, adrenaline. Fight or flight goes. At that point, it's fight. And it's a fight to get my mouth off that anus.
Yeah, because they had their hands.
Yeah.
So all they got to do is push on the ass and just, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
What a fucking I never even thought about that. What
Yes.
a stupid
You
fucking
never thought about
premise.
all those premises like
Dude, the movie was on when I was in the office working one day, like, because with the AV company, we used to just put on whatever while
really?
we were
Y'all
working.
watched that at one point?
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah. So,
Well, it doesn't surprise me.
wasn't really
does not
paying
surprise
attention.
me with Justin. It
Yeah.
sounds like something he
oh
would
yeah,
put on the
he
TV.
was excited to watch it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really like fully paying attention, and since then, clearly, I've never thought about it because
Yeah.
it's terrible. But yeah, every point in that movie is a failure logically. I mean, I think it starts out like she I'm pretty sure her car breaks down outside, basically outside this
See,
guy's house.
I don't even know who, like, male or females in the movie because I've never even seen it. So.
Well, nobody who has like a name we would know. That's
Yeah.
for sure. But like she breaks down outside this guy's house, like kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he's got 2 or 3 other people to whom this has happened. Like, what's up with this one fucking patch in the road? Maybe he set up a booby trap. I can't remember, but yeah, just the whole thing, bullshit.
But enough people come by,
That he's got all these
people,
victims.
but not enough to be an
And
issue.
what did he do with the people who he had kept before until he had the right number? Were they just sedated the whole time?
Yeah. And what does this guy do that he has the money for that
He was a
kind of drugs?
He was a doctor. He was a surgeon.
Oh.
But I guess I can't remember. He went rogue or got banned. I can't fucking remember.
So it was no longer. He was probably no longer.
He
licensed.
wasn't practicing. No, he was. I think he had his license revoked, and
So at that point, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna start sewing assholes and mouths together.
yeah. And I forget what his reasoning was, but it was some kind of like, it was something good he thought was going to come out of it. It wasn't to fuck with these people. He
Well-
thought he was going to make some kind of new thing. He wanted to prove. I can't remember. He wanted to prove some theory of his. It wasn't that he was just a fucking asshole.
Well, you know what? Also, another thing about it. If you get the first few shits out of the way and get a special diet, I bet that poop wouldn't be too bad. You wouldn't get a whole lot of nutrients.
No, dude. Poop is poop. When you're ingesting someone else's fecal matter, the bacteria that's in it is no bueno for you.
Maybe if you give them antibiotic food.
I don't think it works that way. I mean,
Like,
I'm definitely not a doctor or intelligent, but
Okay, then you cut a hole in their cheek and put an antibiotic drip into their mouth.
no, I don't.
So
I still don't think that's going to matter.
I don't know. I'm just thinking. All right.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, well, sure.
And how did he get their faces in between the assholes like that?
Yeah, he had to spread out their cheeks so far it would have torn up everything.
Yeah, they got
You ever had your
nice-
cheeks spread so far apart a face could fit in there?
No,
What the fuck?
to get sewed up in there. You don't have a big mouth. How's he gonna do that with you?
No,
You have a
I
tiny
have a tiny mouth. Yeah.
You have to find someone with a tiny asshole to get it around there. And your face has, you'd probably be at the front, unfortunately. Or unfortunately for
No, that'd
everyone
be
else.
fucking great.
For you, it's fine, but for everyone else, well,
Deal with
you know
my
what?
Brussels sprouts poops. Good luck.
But it's also, what if you die because of backup? Because they can't take your poop from you.
Mm-hmm.
So you just,
Yeah, I can't remember what the sequence was, but I'm pretty sure the guy in the middle died first in the movie.
well, of course. I mean, he's in the middle, just taking in all the poops.
Yeah, he can't really, like, he's taking it in, but he may get blocked on the other end too. So it's like,
Yeah,
at least the guy on the end can shit it all out.
But it's also, he's not getting much nutrients out of that. You know, it's just,
God damn, that's gross. What the fuck? Who the fuck came up with that movie? That's what I want to know. Who's the fucking nut job who wrote that? I want to know who the guy is who wrote the Saw series. What a psychopath.
it was
Holy
me. It was
shit.
me.
Oh, September 8th. We're going. It.
Oh, yes, yes.
We need to go. We need
Oh.
to be careful where we go see it. Probably like an iPic or one of those. Like, we need to go to the most expensive movie theater we can so that the crowd is going to shut the fuck up and watch the movie. Like, no kids,
Mhm.
fucking no low income neighborhood. Is that the most fucked up thing? We'll find it.
We'll
Don't
find,
worry.
we'll find that level. No, but that's the truth. It's like we want to just be
yeah.
someplace.
I want to sit there and watch a
fucking quiet.
goddamn
I
movie.
want it to be like it's watching it at home.
Yes, exactly.
Because we got to do. We had to watch the first one
Mm-hmm.
before we go and see that.
Yeah, for sure.
God, that's such a scary fucking movie. And he's even creepier in this one.
Well, Tim Curry and everything is terrifying.
Oh, yeah, Tim Curry's
Even in Clue, when he's hilarious, he's terrifying.
or when he's the concierge at the hotel in Home Alone 2.
Yeah. The only Tim Curry movie I just cannot stand is Rocky Horror.
I
And
don't mind Rocky
It's
Horror.
related to a bad experience. I've never actually seen the movie in full.
No, really.
So
Did you
I
get-
don't know if they still do this. I'm assuming not. I don't even know if it's still there. The Ridgely Theater in Fort Worth. Every like Wednesday night, I want to say at midnight, they would do a Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Isn't the originally where we went to see a movie? It's on like it has like couches instead of
Yeah.
seats. Oh, that sucks.
No, it was either the original movie tavern or the Ridgely Theater, one of the two.
originally is where I had the couches, and
Yeah.
that's at least the last time I went there sucked because we ended up in the back seat.
Yeah.
Underneath an awning
Underneath
where there
the
was
speakers,
no.
yeah.
Yeah, well, no, the speakers were out in front of us.
Right.
There's nothing. We were in this back corner. I was like, this is some bullshit.
Yeah, so it may have been the movie tavern. I can't remember. Anyways, my freshman year of college at TCU, the girl who was in love with me at TCU, which I didn't realize until after I basically had left there, really, or it took me a while to figure it out because I was all heartbroken over my high school girlfriend. She took me there one time. She was super into Rocky Horror and like just weird shit in general. And professional jump roper though, amazing, fucking amazing jump roper.
How
Oh,
do
yeah.
you-
Oh yeah, she coaches a team. She's bad to the bone. Anyways,
We're gonna circle back.
okay, she can jump rope off her butt. It's impressive, really impressive.
How are you professional? Like,
She's won competitions and been part of like a professional team where they get paid to go on tour and like do events and shit, jump rope at
who
events.
pays for that?
Oh, tons of people pay. It's like a hype show at like an athletic conference or this or that.
Maybe like a halftime show deal.
Sure,
Okay.
all that kind of stuff. Yeah, she's done halftime shows at like Sacramento Kings games and yeah.
Okay.
So anyways,
All right.
she takes me there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've never heard at this point. I've never heard of Rocky Horror.
Really?
Nah, I mean,
You're in college. You've never heard of the Rocky Horror Picture
I was a
Show?
freshman in college who literally only cared about lifting weights and girls. So no, definitely not. I played Madden pretty much exclusively. So we get there and it's the kind of crowd that would be at a Rocky Horror fucking sing along. Like I'm standing there and there's like dudes in panties and I'm just not my scene. Especially
but you weren't prepared for it because you didn't know what the.
no,
movie
and
was
especially
about.
the guy was my freshman year of college. I mean, I show up pajama pants, the cutoff shirt that starts at the traps and goes
Mhm.
out and everything, and I'm just like, what the fuck are we doing? So the movie starts and they start like singing along, and there's certain parts where they yell at the screen, and there's people running up and down the fucking aisles and all this shit, and then they I think they paused the movie, and they were like asking who in the crowd was a virgin, and they didn't mean a sexual virgin.
They
were
meant
a
first time, yeah.
first time seeing the movie. And so my friend is pointing at me, and this chick walks over with lipstick and puts a fucking V on my forehead, and I was like, "Don't fucking touch!" Like, I'm real easygoing generally, and I mean I'm much less hot headed than I used to be. But this was two things: one, I used to be way more hot headed, and two, I don't do well with people touching me. Period. I just don't. Like, you maybe, my wife for sure. Anybody else, don't fucking touch me. So I was like, don't. I was like, don't fucking touch me. I got all mad, and then they pulled us up to the front and they had us do like a virgin battle, and I had to get on top of a table, up against another dude, and the game was we went butt to butt and had to push each other off the table, and I was like, yeah, 100% no. Like, absolutely. And everybody's like booing me and getting mad. And I was like, hey, guys, I didn't sign up for any of this. This is not my scene. I apologize. You guys can do whatever you want. I'm out. Like, I'm not doing this. And so they got mad. And I walked out of the theater and I was just like, so that ruined Rocky Horror for me. I've never actually seen the whole movie.
Oh, it's a good movie.
Yeah. Because like just
I actually want to go to this show.
I'd go back to it now. That's the thing is like if I know what I'm walking into.
Yeah, if you don't know what you're getting into, and then suddenly they're trying to get you.
They started hitting me with all this shit, and especially at 18, I was so closed off to any of that kind of stuff. Like now, I'd be like, yeah, sure, fuck it, who cares? I'll booty bump this dude, and I don't care. It doesn't matter. But then 18-year-old me was like, yeah, I'm fucking too cool for this or whatever. So I was just like, I'm out. So I'll fucking see you guys out in the parking lot. Goodbye. So that, maybe I should go back and watch the movie.
It's a good movie.
Or go to one of those deals.
Yeah.
I have to find where there is one around here. I'm sure they're everywhere.
Yeah, I'd like to do it. It's fun. It's a good movie.
It's technically a comedy, right? I mean, isn't it supposed to be a
Yes.
comedy?
Yes, technically yes. Well, and musical comedy.
Well, it is a musical. That I remember.
Well, yes. So yeah, yeah.
I wonder what it was like being on set with Tim Curry and drag for 3 months. He had some nice legs in that movie back in the day.
Oh
You ever throw on a pair of pantyhose, just rub on your legs, see how they feel?
nope.
Me neither.
Don't
If
think
you
my
guys-
I don't think
if
my
you guys
mom
can
owned. I
catch
don't
that
think my
wink there.
I don't think my mom owned pantyhose big enough for me to fit in.
Oh, they make some big ass pantyhose.
Yeah,
dude.
but I don't think my mom owned those. So
Oh, back in the day, your
Yeah.
mom owned. Okay.
yes.
Dude, they make.
And I would not go buy. Teenage me would not go buy fucking pantyhose.
I'm
'cause
saying
that
right
would
now
be-
though, you can just say they're for your girlfriend.
No, if I was
Some
gonna do
nice like silk ones.
no, I'd be like, no, I'm gonna put these on, bitch. You wanna fuck me? I'd fuck me. I'd tuck my dick back. Nah, I don't care. If I want to, I'll go buy them. I don't give a shit. I just don't feel like wearing them.
nice nylons.
I just don't. I like being free. I don't want to be anything too tight. I'm fat, so tight stuff on me makes me feel very uncomfortable. Like this shirt is a little too small for me. I feel uncomfortable in it sometimes.
Well, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
hmm
Not sorry.
Sometimes my underwear feels a little too tight.
I do deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need I like the underwear with a good dick pocket in it.
I really want to try those fucking me undies, man. Just give them a shot. See what the deal is. Because that's my biggest struggle is finding a pair that like will hold my junk in well enough, but not bunch up on my legs and my ass. Like I can't find the happy medium. I've got some that are very comfortable and stay down on my legs, and then my dick and balls just flop and hang. And I'm like everything
Because it has like
it's got like a real loose pocket
loose-
that's just
yeah.
like there's nothing.
yeah, there's nothing holding it.
Yeah,
But then you
there's
got the
no
other
pouch.
then you got the other ones that really
They just
yeah they
but
feel
you-
they
you
com-
can't
they
even
comfort the
move.
balls and everything, but then
Yeah.
your legs are like god damn. And then by the end of the day, it's like you're wearing tighty whities because they roll up right into your.
I've
Yep.
got two pairs of these jockey ones that are kind of the perfect fit, and I don't know where to find them. I'm gonna have to look for them, but I want to try something else.
Try those MeUndies. Let me know how that goes.
Yeah.
Or
Gotta keep-
MeUndies if you want to
I've been
sponsor us.
I've been
I will
stepping
totally
up my
put
sock
us-
game lately, and I think underwear is going to be the next phase.
I don't. I
See
don't.
these bad boys here, pretty
I don't.
dope.
I
My
don't
wife
care
found
about.
these; they're fucking awesome.
I don't care about socks that much.
Oh man, socks are everything for me because I wear a lot of loafers and stuff like that. Like I have to wear no show shit. I just like no show socks in general. Like even with tennis shoes, I
Why
wear
do you
no
have
show.
to? Does no show look better with loafers?
Well,
than-
with loafers, you're technically like you don't want socks hanging out. Yeah. That's
Now, what do you mean by hanging out? Just visible, or
yeah, at all. Like most guys that wear loafers either don't wear socks, which is goddamn disgusting,
Yeah.
or they wear those really, really thin, just almost like hose wraps that women wear. But I like these fucking stylish no-show wraparound socks, and they've got this like grippy stuff on the back of the ankle
to
here,
keep?
so they will not roll down. This
Huh.
this brand is Unsimply Stitched from Nordstrom, I think. They're fucking amazing. I've had
Because
these.
that seems like it would just keep falling off my heel.
Nope, not at all.
Hmm.
These and the Tommy John brand are amazing, but these ones are even better. These Unsimply Stitched are fucking phenomenal. So comfortable. They don't move. They're nice and dry. Because I wear, the only time I wear socks you can see is when I'm wearing dress socks with like some slacks or something when I want to have socks visible. When I wear like my loafers or some of my other nicer shoes, topsiders or even sneakers, I don't like my socks showing at all.
That's interesting.
It's just strange that way. And I've worn black socks pretty much my entire life.
Oh no,
as far as regular
all mine
socks.
are all my socks are black, but I just never cared if my socks are showing.
Yeah, you'd probably have to get like 4 sizes bigger than your, because you would stretch these out pretty badly.
Oh yeah, no, I got fucking
Big ass wide feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
got
look like
big,
you look like flatbread pizzas.
yeah, I got big fucking hobbit feet. And tiny penis. What the fuck?
Tough life, dude.
I know.
I feel for you.
Jesus. ridiculous.
He was good and big in both directions. He had a big hog. Do you remember that skit?
No.
Dude, Ben Affleck hosted this episode of SNL a few years ago where he had two of the
That'd be why
greatest
I don't watch
skits.
I don't watch SNL nearly as much as you and the rest of
Okay.
the group does.
Well, I will have to show you these two skits. They're
Mhm.
fucking magical. One is the Herman's handbags, which is making fun of Hermes bags, and he plays. You'll love this. He plays Girth Brooks. Plays a porn star named Girth Brooks.
I think I saw that one because I think we brought it up because of the Girth Brooks
Okay,
thing.
yeah. So for anybody who's unaware, which would be everybody, Cody's nickname, I think we counted one day 47
Something like that. A lot.
nicknames in high school was Girth Brooks.
Mhm.
We were at a powerlifting meet, I believe senior year.
And was it senior or junior?
I think it was
more
senior
junior.
year.
Was it?
I want to say it was no, it was junior because
was-
Mosley was there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
and
Moses
he was a
said it
senior.
was junior.
Yeah, so a bench shirt in powerlifting is typically like a nylon lycra blend. It's incredibly, unbelievably small and tight, and like
and
just-
not stretchy at all.
just
It's
Google
not-
a picture of powerlifting bench shirt, and you'll see like when a dude's wearing it, your shoulders are rolled forward and tucked in. Like if you took a bench shirt and just held it up when nobody's wearing it, the fucking arms are almost at the front of
Yeah.
the shirt. So the whole design is it's really incredibly tight, and it's
And
basically
it's like me putting on an extra small,
oh my god.
but doesn't stretch.
But one that has no give.
Yeah.
So it's designed to almost work like a springboard. Like it helps you out of the positive end of the lift.
Yeah.
But you have to almost like pull through the eccentric phase, like pull the weight down because in powerlifting you have to pause, and so it gives you that extra boost.
it pushes
And
your
it
shoulders
pushes
forward.
your shoulders forward and pulls your elbows in, which is how you're supposed to finish a bench. So it helps with your form. It's really meant to keep you safe, is what it's designed for.
Yes,
It doesn't actually it might add 10, 15 pounds to your bench, maybe,
but not much.
but it adds to your pause bench. But like I could always bench more a regular rep than I could pause with a shirt on.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you
because
always-
you're
yeah,
not because you don't have
because
that
of the pause.
bounce.
It's
yeah.
really to keep you safe. So
because you bounce off your chest.
yeah. So we were trying to get this shirt on Cody, and we're.
And
I mean,
you-
I think there were like fucking 4 of us trying to get this
3 or
thing
4.
on here. Yeah,
And you're in a fucking gym. You're
it's
hot,
fucking hot. You're sweaty.
humid. As soon as you really start to sweat, it does not
Oh
want to
yeah,
go
it
on.
doesn't want to move. It's like
Yeah.
it's stuck to you.
Yes.
And so we're sitting there trying to.
Outside.
And basically the whole strategy,
outside in like November, I think, or December, in Texas, which is still it's not ultra cold, but still nice and cold.
Yeah.
As you're trying to get that bench shirt on.
Yeah. So basically, the whole strategy is if you've ever put a shirt on a baby, you roll it up until it's just a little piece of fabric and you slide it over their head. Well, a bench shirt's a lot the same. You kind of bundle it up. They shove their arms as far in as they can, and then you get it over the head and start. You literally have to roll it down
Yeah.
their body.
And that
So-
you have to work your arms
Oh,
and shoulders
man.
to get everything
Yeah.
into
So
place.
we're sitting there just fucking tugging. I mean, people are putting their full weight on this shirt. to try
Elbow,
to, like,
pull it
down,
out,
yeah.
elbow down into it and pushing.
And
yeah.
one of the guys looks at him. He's like, "Jesus Christ, get in this fucking shirt, Girth Brooks." At which point, Cody's standing there with his arms like this, like stuck up in the air, all stuffed in this shirt, and we just all bust out laughing, and we can't stop. And he's
can't do
just sitting there
anything.
like, "Guys, what? Could you fucking help me, please?"
Because it's not comfortable.
He's got to lift in like 3 minutes, and we're all laughing.
Yeah,
our
because you
asses
don't
off.
want to be
No, you want to wear that shirt for
your
as
lifts and
little
been
time
done.
as possible.
Yeah, because one, it cuts off circulation.
Yeah.
2, after you take them off, you're bleeding because it tears you
it
up
tears
underneath.
you the fuck up.
It
man.
rips
cuts you up.
skin off, and you're just like you're bleeding after every meet.
And so it's the same with a squat suit. A squat suit is basically a compression suit. And I kind of pioneered, I'm going to say pioneered, but I did things a little differently. I wore a squat suit that was a size too big because it, like the size I was technically recommended to wear was so distractingly painful that it, like whatever it would have done to help me squat, I didn't care. I was
Mhm.
strong enough to where I was, crushing every squat record with just a pretty tight suit on.
yeah,
I mean, it was
but
still
the
tight enough
wraps-
to leave bruises.
But the
it
wraps
didn't-
is where you want it to be tight.
yeah, it didn't cut me. And then the one thing I figured out is on bench press, most guys will wear their squat suit because it's all they've got. Well, I had coach get me a big ass wrestling suit, like an old wrestling suit,
Did you
and then I
really?
would wear my bench shirt and then
I don't
just
remember
throw on
that.
the wrestling suit. So the wrestling suit was all nice and comfy. My legs were comfy when I was benching. It was fucking fantastic. So I kind of cheated the system because you'd see most guys waddle up there in their whole in a bench shirt and a squat suit, and I was
Yeah,
like,
no, I was in those.
that's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would always, after squat and deadlift, I would take off my squat suit for the day because we always finished with bench. It was great. I loved it. So,
That was fun.
dude, powerlifting is, you know, and this is the thing. I mean, it's all kind of subjective in terms of the discipline. You know, you'll hear people say the same thing with martial arts. I felt like powerlifting, you know, like you learn a lot from football, right? You learn teamwork, responsibility, hard work, all these kinds of things. I felt like powerlifting took that to a whole new level for me.
Well, because you were one tighter group, less people. You had to be responsible for each other.
Yeah.
Because if you miss your lift, that you're done. You can't do anything by yourself. It's impossible.
No.
You can't. You
Can't
can't
wrap
wrap
your
your
own
own
fucking
knees.
knees.
You can't put that shirt on by yourself.
Yeah, if anybody says they can wrap their knees, they're lying. They're not wrapping their
They're
knees
not
tight enough.
Yeah, they're not doing it right. There's no way. Yeah.
So yeah, it was cool. It's a lot like track in the sense that like you're by yourself, but it's so much of it is the team
But the team's there to
supporting
root you on.
Yeah.
You go one at a time. There's very few. I mean, well,
It was rare that you'd have two guys lifting at the same time.
yeah, because
So-
of everyone being varying weight classes, you never know when you would go. I mean, there was times where we would have it, but
I love that sport, and it, you know, obviously it did a lot for me just in terms of what I accomplished and like the gains I made, all those things. I would never like recommend it to anybody because I sure as
Oh,
hell beat the fuck out
it's
of my
brutal
body.
on your body.
Yeah, I mean
Very
it tore
brutal.
me up. Serious like permanent knee damage and you know shit like that.
I mean, yeah,
but
you're putting all that weight on such a
I don't have a
young,
big
grown
frame.
body. Yeah,
I definitely don't have a big frame, and for me to squat 630 fucking pounds at 17 years old,
terrible on your joints.
200 pounds, yeah, it was.
and just all on your neck and shoulders, just crushing it all.
Oh yeah, it was rough, man.
Back issues if you don't deadlift right, you can easily.
So I always say, if somebody could have just shown me the proper path, man, it would have been basketball and track. Like, don't ever play football. Don't power lift. Although I wouldn't have been nearly as fast. I wouldn't have been as good a football player without powerlifting for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the strength I gained made me a much better player. So, yeah,
Yeah, it's fun.
I want to go back and start. I went back and judged a couple of meets after high school.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to get back into that, man. Those meets are so much fun.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just such a cool environment. Like, everybody generally is in a great mood. You know, there's not a lot of, like, that's not a sport where you see a lot of animosity.
no,
You know?
because it's a competition, but it's all friendly. You're not trying to you're trying to beat each other by outperforming each other, but you're not going head to head.
You're not physically up against a
Yeah,
guy, yeah.
you're just literally it's you and the weights, and if you
Yeah,
can
I mean, the
beat
kid that beat me senior year at state, I was like,
the house,
I was just like, fucking congratulations, sir. You are a monster.
because he's on HGH and steroids, and was like 24.
Yeah, he was 29 years old.
So
He was fucking nuts.
he was huge.
Oh shit! All right, what's your positive story that you brought to the table today?
A few positive stories. Let's start with the first one. It's about a guy who, during World War II, would sneak children out of concentration camps. All right, so like,
Wait, what's his nationality?
I don't remember. I mean, he was
Well,
white.
thanks
He-
for the
he
context.
was white.
Well, everybody in World War II was white, motherfucker.
Yes, I don't.
Not really,
He was
but
not.
you know
I
what
don't
I'm
know.
saying.
I don't think he was German.
Okay.
Okay, so he snuck children because he knew his kid. You know, he knew that. I mean, you knew the parents were gonna be.
Is this the guy that they like surprised
Ho-
at that auditorium?
Shut up!
God
Let
damn
me tell
it.
the goddamn story, you son of a bitch. All right.
Rewind.
Yeah. So he, yes, he for years was sneaking children out of concentration camps, and he kept a log and photos of all the children he had helped. So yes, when he was older, they went to a taping of a TV show, and for some reason, everyone just stood up, but him and his wife, and it was because everyone in the audience was one of the kids that he saved.
It's fucking wild, man.
But to see, and they're all grown up adults now,
Yeah.
and to see them Like all these adults are alive who probably have family and children of their own.
Yeah, I think a lot of them even had their families with them at that thing, if I remember right.
Yeah. If it wasn't for that man, all those generations would no longer.
That's fucking crazy, man. Like the absolute balls on that guy. I mean, the level of bravery
Mm-hmm.
to do something like that, knowing there's only one consequence if you get caught.
Oh,
There's
death.
no other option outside of death.
Yeah.
It's man, that's wild.
Torture probably actually first. Torture then death.
Well, torture to maybe they torture him to get the names of the people or something. Unfortunately,
Yeah, or but no, or just to prove a point. I mean,
yeah.
so
God damn.
but yeah, to see that I was like, man, that's a very uplifting story.
Dude, it's wild to think about, like, the absolutely crazy shit that some people in history have done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you talk about that guy or somebody like Harriet Tubman or people like that, I mean, even Martin Luther King, like the position in which he put himself, like any of those people. I mean, and they were all doing different things, but I don't know, just that. What is it about a person that makes them just think, well, fuck, whatever happens to me is so much less important than like taking care of this person, or trying to help this person who's being wronged.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. I don't know that. I mean, I hope we don't. Well, that's, I guess, the unfortunate thing is we probably still have plenty of places in the world where things are going on where you need a person like that. But it does. I don't know of one because I'm not I'm not educated enough about what's going on. But you would hope that we don't need those kind of people anymore because shit like that is not happening. Where people are literally being held hostage, murdered, made to be slaves, all that kind of shit.
Oh, but that stuff is still going on in plenty of other lower developed countries.
Yeah.
I mean, murder and things like that still happen even in developed countries. And actually, probably slavery still happens in developed countries. There's plenty of, like, sex, slave trafficking going on in America, so.
You haven't watched The Sinner yet, have you?
The what?
The Sinner, that show I told you about with
Oh,
Jessica
no.
Biel. I have a theory about that show.
But
I think I'm going to be 100% right about it. It's the first time. It frustrates me to no end. My wife is so good. We'll be watching a movie or a show or something, and she knows within 10 minutes. She knows the person who did it and why and how and all this shit. And I can't figure. I'm like, no, I think it's the other guy. Like every fucking time. I think I've got this show nailed. I'm sure I'll be wrong, but I really like to think I've got it nailed.
well, let's hear your prediction.
Well, you got to watch it.
Oh, I don't care. I won't watch it.
Dude, it's good.
I haven't watched Ozark. I haven't watched Westworld. I mean, look, man, I got my shows. And even if you spoil it for me, eventually, if I do want to watch it, I'll watch it.
So, all right.
Spoiler alert, anyone.
Spoiler alert if you're a fan of Sinner, you can fast forward a couple minutes. She is this mother. She's
Of
got
dragons?
100% Game of Thrones style.
Yeah.
So it's Jessica Biel. She's got a husband and a little boy.
Oh, yeah, just
about
that's
4
why I gotta
years
watch
old.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. They
That
go
ass.
in the first episode. They go to the beach, and she is cutting up a pear for her son. And this song comes on, and she starts like looking kind of funny. And then there's this guy that is like 15 or 20 feet away from her, and he and his girl are like all over each other, like kissing, making out. He's slapping her ass, all this stuff. At one point, they start kind of play fighting. He rolls over on top of her, and he's like on top of her. It looks like kind of being playful with her. Jessica Biel just fucking stands up, runs over there, goes get off of her, and stabs him in a very specific pattern that comes back into play later in the show. And as she's running, as soon as like I saw the guy get on top, and then Jessica Biel freaked out, I was like, okay, well this definitely has to do with rape. Obviously, something happened. There's like these huge undertones of her family being, I mean, fucking psychotically religious. Her mom in particular. And I was like, all right, her dad probably raped her. I'm still holding on to that barely, but I've mostly let go of that. As the story develops, you figure out that she's made up a lot of shit, and then you realize that it's because she doesn't remember anything about what happened. But every time she hears this one song, like she attacks the detective and hits him in the same exact 7 spots I mean, dead on as she stabbed the other guy. So she's like remembering something by basically memory without knowing she's doing it.
Yeah, no, she's a sleeper agent.
So what I think happened was she basically got kidnapped and was drugged and basically made like a sex slave. Like these guys would have people pay money to have sex with her. They had her basically like pent up in a hotel room, drugged up, and
Mhm.
people would just come in and out. And I think that's kind of the basis of the whole story. That's what's going to end up developing. It's really good. And she's so hot. I mean, even in every episode, she's no makeup, all fucked up and crying. She's still so hot. Like, and the next couple episodes are going to start revealing what happened, which means she's going to be like in her underwear and stuff a lot. Can't wait. It's gonna be a good time.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
What story do you have? Did I steal your thunder?
No, not at all. I honestly, I had.
I mean, I have some other stories.
Wait, what?
I mean, I have some other stories if you don't have anything.
Well, the only thing that has been interesting to me in terms of, and I know this is going to sound like it's not a positive story, but this. Have you heard about the sexual assault lawsuit that Taylor Swift won?
No.
Okay. It's kind of fascinating, this whole thing. So, I guess it sounds like 2013, she was doing some kind of show as part of a radio station's, like, remember when radio stations used to be relevant and they would put on concerts?
There's radio stations?
Yeah, exactly. So she was doing like a big, let's say Kiss FM or somebody here big in town was doing one of those big concerts.
Yeah.
She was doing one of those in Denver. And this DJ who worked for the station was like part of the, event, obviously. And I guess at one point backstage, he put his hand up her skirt and like was trying to feel her up. And so she like said something, and I guess a security guard kind of stepped in and got involved. Well, she went out publicly about it and was like outing the guy and went to the station and said, "You guys need to fire this dude." And they fired him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she had said a couple things about it on social media or something. Well, the guy filed suit against her for like slander or defamation of character or whatever, and she filed a countersuit for the sexual assault that was committed.
Mm-hmm.
So the judge threw out this guy's case, and she won the sexual because they had like hard evidence and witnesses and stuff that this guy had done this. Guess what her settlement was from this guy?
What?
$1. So her whole point, she released kind of like a little press release or whatever after. I think she might have just said something on Twitter. Basically, it wasn't about like getting this guy in trouble, getting any money, whatever. Obviously, he sued her for like millions, which why wouldn't you? I guess. But she was like, this was not about me. I'm one of the very rare people who is fortunate enough to be able to handle the tremendous legal costs of going through something like this. But I wanted to shine light on this problem, like the fact that this is happening, and there are people out there who can't defend themselves. So that's why this settlement was meaningless. I just wanted to run this guy through the ringer and then expose that there are all these people out there like this, and that somebody needs to stand up for them.
It just doesn't make sense to me. Someone would just. Why would you just grab Taylor Swift's ass? That doesn't make sense.
Irresistible, man.
I mean, yeah, those legs.
She is.
Yes.
She's a legit 10.
To you, yes.
Sure. God, she's so tall.
No, she's very attractive. Again, that goes back to our conversation last week.
Yeah.
Whoever has their own. She's attractive. She's not my type. She's
yeah,
your type.
I don't get.
She has nice legs, but
I don't get what the fuck this guy's thinking.
But yeah, like just to grab anyone. Like it's not like I go by and just grab your ass. Like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah. I mean, to do it to a woman, why? Keep your fucking hands to yourself. And B, to arguably the most famous person on earth, somebody's probably watching her at all times.
Yeah.
And they're going to take her word for it because she's a genuinely good person. Like, when's the last time she fucked over somebody?
Yeah. Well, every one of her songs. Because lots of them come out of her relationships.
Oh, that's all John Mayer's fault.
So, but yes, yeah, exactly. I'm just like, that doesn't register with me. I don't. There's plenty of women I look at and go, man, I'd like to tap that.
Yeah, but to just walk
But
up
just to
and
go up and grab their ass, no, I've never done that.
I think he, from the way it sounded, he did a little more than grab her ass. I think he was like
Trying to slip a
trying
finger
to,
in.
yeah, getting aggressive in there.
That doesn't make sense. Like,
What the fuck, guy?
yeah,
Plus, at that point, she was what, 24 or 23? Like, that's a young lady, sir.
nah, she can handle it. She probably got a good dick from John Mayer, so the guy was weird. But
Plays
But-
that
but yeah.
guitar real nice.
yeah, knows how to work them fingers. But it still just doesn't make that blows my mind that someone would do that. Like,
Dude,
why?
The fucking hubris behind that. It's like, what did you think was gonna? You thought you were gonna slip a finger in a pussy, and she's gonna turn around and go, "Come to my hotel later, room
Yeah.
fucking 200 or whatever."
Let's
Like,
go. Let's go to my tour bus and give you a good digging down.
yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think so.
or just
She
turn
can
around and
just-
just start blowing you right there.
She can just literally walk up to any human man on earth and go, "You want to fuck?" And they'd be like, "Yep." 100%.
Yes.
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 She'd
Well,
be like, "I have AIDS." I'd be like,
straight man.
"Good."
Sh-
I'd want to die after this
I-
anyways.
just here's a knife. When I come, slit my throat.
Yeah.
Just,
Go
that's
go
it.
Rosamund Pike to Neil Patrick Harris on me.
I don't know the reference.
Gone Girl?
I never saw
That's
that.
a fucked up scene. Oh my god.
I don't watch shit like that because it doesn't make like it just doesn't make sense to me. Like I don't want to see that. That is not entertaining.
Well, I
to
wasn't
Me.
expecting that to be part of the movie.
Well, that.
Although
but
I
just,
did read the book.
But just stuff
and
like that. That is like
I knew it was going to
movies
happen,
and
but I
shows
didn't
like
think
that.
they were going to keep it in the movie.
Yeah, movies and shows like that just don't make sense to me. Like I don't get entertainment out of that.
You watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's killing everybody, and that's fantasy stuff. This is not like some murder mystery bullshit where people accuse. It's anything like that just pisses me off. So I couldn't watch Parenthood because people are fucking assholes to each other. I hate liars.
But you watch Game of Thrones.
It's like
People
yeah,
lie to each other in that show every
yeah,
day.
but it's fantasy. It's not dipped in reality at all. There's fucking dragons.
You watch Entourage. Ari lies to everybody.
Yeah, but it was funny. Again, it wasn't all dramatic all
Yeah.
the time.
Well, Gone Girl's not worth. The movie's not worth watching.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I would highly recommend the book up until the last page and a half. And
really,
then just yeah.
the last page and a half is what ruined the book.
100%. I mean, and actually ruined it for me to the point where I was on a plane, and when I finished it, I threw the book on the ground and just left it there. And the movie ended the same way. It fucking sucked.
Hmm.
It was a horse shit
How does it end?
with nothing happened. Nothing happens. She
So,
just comes home. And
Again,
and it's
spoiler
it.
alert.
Yeah.
Explain brief synopsis of.
So, man, it's tough to do a brief synopsis.
I mean,
Okay,
some
so
of the,
so this guy is cheating on his wife.
Mhm.
They're not super happy at the point that the wife finds out. The wife finds out he's cheating with a student. He's a college professor.
Okay.
He owns a bar. Maybe he's not a college professor, but she's in college.
But yes,
He owns a bar with his sister. He's cheating on her with this young girl, which is Emily Ratajkowski in the movie.
Okay. Let's.
So she stages that she has essentially makes it look like she's been murdered and has disappeared in the house. Like she stages
wife or
yes,
the-
the wife
okay,
does. She
okay.
stages the house to look that way, then leaves him all these clues because it's around their anniversary and they have these traditions for their anniversary. Leaves him all these clues to let him figure out that she's still alive and trying to basically frame him for murder, which he does essentially get publicly put on trial for murder. She goes back to live with her crazy ass ex-boyfriend, played by Neil Patrick Harris. Eventually realizes he's basically kind of holding her hostage, murders him while they're having sex, and makes it look like a rape because he's got cameras all around his house. So different days she'd like beat up herself and like go cry in a corner near a camera, and then slits his throat while they're fucking. So it was like I was defending myself while he was raping me. It's a fucking twisted movie. Then she goes back home, and then the movie ends.
Bullshit.
That's it. It just ends with them in their house, just fucking sitting there.
Do they say anything to each other? Or
Yeah, they just talk about how much they hate each other and all that kind of shit. But like,
I would be calling the cops on that crazy bitch.
Yeah, that's just it. Just ends in the book and the movie. It's just over.
Are you serious? I would have been like, no, look, this bitch just. I would call I would call all the reporters, call the cops. Go, my wife is still alive. She's fucking right
Well,
here,
no,
right
she
now.
comes. That's her play. Is she comes screeching back up into the driveway, covered in this guy's blood, and her story is he kidnapped me and was raping me, and I made it out of there to come home to my loving husband, who I adore. Because she realized he was starting to put together the pieces and was going to expose her. So she murders the other guy, comes home. It's fucking nuts. The book is brilliant up until those last couple pages. Oh yeah, he talks about bashing in her head and all that.
At that
kind
point,
of
I
stuff,
probably would have killed that bitch.
Yeah.
Because what are they gonna do? He was already tried for it once.
Well, he didn't go to trial, so it wouldn't have been double jeopardy.
Damn it!
No.
Because that'd been the best. At that point, I would have been like, if she came back, if I could go to trial and found not guilty of it or guilty or whatever, I'd have killed the bitch and be like,
Oh, yeah.
what are you gonna do?
Good movie, by the way. Double Jeopardy.
Like, what are you gonna do? She's already dead. Like, you already tried me for it. And if I've already killed her once, how can I kill her again? Who is this lady?
Yeah, it's a great story. If you're up for
No,
a good
that
read,
sounds
just
fucking aggravating.
it's pretty intense, and it's written, from both of their perspectives. Like each chapter goes back and forth, and she's a writer, so her side is like much more clever, just in the way it's written. It's really good. It's a fucking great book, up until just that last little bit, and then just let it go.
There should be like behind the last page, like the glued on page, the hardback, should be a little piece that you had to discover that you could pull open and you can read like one last page, like, and then I killed that bitch.
Yeah.
Just be like,
she was sleeping. I put a screwdriver in her neck. I mean, that's how I would do it.
okay, so I'll know if someone does the screwdriver in their neck, you probably killed them.
That would be really hard to do. You know how hard it is to penetrate flesh without like an actual knife, even with a knife.
I don't know. I'm not a psychopath.
It's hard.
Or am I?
You never cut yourself?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Just saying, man. Like, I went to college with a guy who got stabbed in the chest with a butter knife, and I was like, that motherfucker wanted you dead.
Yeah.
You know how hard that is?
That must have hurt.
You know how
really
much
bad.
fucking force had to be behind that butter knife?
Did it hurt a lot?
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah. He got him way up high, though. Like, you got to go lower, buddy. You got to get along the heart.
Mm-hmm.
You can kill somebody with a butter knife. I mean, up here, just meat and bone. Not a lot of damage.
Yeah, and you had to get in between your ribs to get something.
Yeah.
Come down lower, you can go underneath the rib cage.
Yeah, come up underneath the xiphoid. Just poke the fucking heart. Yeah, so I don't plan on stabbing anybody, though.
Okay.
Oh, dude, this just brought up. I had probably the scariest situation I've had in a very long time recently. What the hell day was that? It must have been Thursday. Yeah, because I came back from Waco on Thursday. Was coming down the highway here, real close to the house, the same exit you take to get here, and traffic right at that exit just was stopped. So I'm like an eighth of a mile from the exit. I'm just kind of sitting there because I'm like, well, I'm going to exit in about 10 seconds, so no big deal. And of course, as is always the case in Texas, what happens? Fucking assholes start flying by me on the shoulder. And I'm talking like 70 miles an hour on the shoulder because they're like, well, this is my exit, so this counts. I'll just drive illegally. So I pull out in front of one of the guys who's trying to do it because I'm like, fuck you, man. Just wait. We're right here. Just wait. And he sticks his hand out of his sunroof. He's driving this old piece of shit Mitsubishi Eclipse. Sticks his hand out of his sunroof and starts like waving. And one of his blinkers was on. And I thought maybe his other one's broken and it's his hazards and he actually has an emergency. So I was like, all right, I'll get out of his way. Got out of his way. Well, literally 10 seconds later, I exit because we were that's how fucking close we were to the exit. And he sees me exit and like slows down, and then there's two left turn lanes. He sees that I'm going to get in the leftmost and gets in that lane and stops, and I see his door open. And I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess this is happening." So I like stopped short of his car because I don't want to pull right up on him and give him the chance to run up on my car. And he's looking at me and he's like adjusting his clothes for some reason, like messing with his pants and shit. And I just I clearly unbuckled my seatbelt and reached down and pulled out my pistol. And I was just sitting there and I was like, I mean, my heart was like, I was like, I don't want to have to shoot this guy. But if he runs at my car, he's going to die. Like, I'm not even going to I'll fucking shoot him. I'm not going to get in a fist fight with this guy. I'm just going to kill him. And so I'm just standing there and I'm staring at him and I'm just waiting. And he's like looking at me and he's looking at the car and looking at me and like trying to, make some fucking chicken moves and shit. And I was like, don't think I'm going to be stupid enough to get out of this fucking car because I don't know if he is holding or I don't know anything. All I know is I'm safest right here, gun toward the door, like ready. And then light turns green, gets back in his car and drives off. And I was like, fuck, man. Like, why did we need to go through that? And what the fuck would have happened if he had run up on my car?
He'd have died.
He definitely would have been shot. There was no hesitation on my part. I was freaking out because that's a scary situation. But I was like, I'm not going to give him the opportunity to fist fight me or get in the car, anything. Like, if he puts his hand on the door, he's dead. I had already made up my mind. But thinking about that driving home, I was like, fuck, I'm so glad so glad that I didn't have to kill that guy over literally nothing. I mean, nothing. Why'd you shoot him? Well, I didn't want to let him pass me on the shoulder, and he got so mad about it, he got out of his car and bum rushed me, and I shot him. I'd be justified, self-defense. But we'd have to go to court because every shooting in Texas starts as a homicide and has to be proven as otherwise. I'd be racking up legal fees over just that. So from now on, I'm just going to fucking let him pass on the shoulder and be like, you know what, who gives a shit? He's just an asshole. Oh, man. I mean, I got home and I was like shivering. It freaked me out. Because he looked like a guy who was kind of prepared to die, if you know what I'm saying. Like he just didn't give a shit. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't have let him pass even if he did have hazards on.
Well, if they have hazards on, it's an emergency.
No.
You're technically, that's what that shoulder's for.
People are assholes.
Well, they'll throw them on making it up, but I can't. There's no way for me to know, so I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Where was he trying to go in an emergency if he was going to exit right there?
Oh, no, that guy nowhere. And his blinker was broken. I followed him the whole, he ended up driving almost the same path home, and that right blinker was on the entire time. It was just broken, I guess, or he's just dumb. But that's the first time in a few years I've had to draw my weapon in my car. And I hope the fucking last. That was the first time, though, I've had to do it, and I thought I was going to have to use it. The other two times were when I was much more immature, and, well, the second time I actually thought I might have to use it, but the first time was when I was trying to, intimidate somebody, which is, A, the worst thing you can do, and B, in Texas, if you're a CHL holder, you can go to fucking prison for that. So, the other time I saw a guy who was driving like a maniac, chasing me down, reach for his glove box, and so when he turned, he had a gun pointing at him, and he took off. I don't know whether he was reaching for a gun. I never gave him the opportunity, but, yeah. Not cool. Not worth it, man. Just go home. I just want to go home. I hadn't seen my son in 15 hours. I just wanted to go home and not kill a guy on the side of the road. What else?
Let's be inspirational, not that. Read a story about a book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Why did that popped up on
Reddit?
No. Oh, my wife was looking through books on Audible today, and that came up.
Yeah. So this is a passage from it that I just wanted to read to you real quick. There are simple realizations from which all personal improvement and growth emerges. This is the realization that we, individually, are responsible for everything in our lives, no matter the external circumstances. We don't always control what happens to us, but we always control how we interpret and what happens to us, as well as how we respond.
Very true. Yeah. Yeah, it goes back to the concept of really, only being concerned with the things you can control.
Mm-hmm.
So, if there's anything you can have an impact on or play a role in, feel free to have a concern about it. But otherwise, people passing you on the shoulder, who cares?
Yeah. It's
Just
hard
let it go.
sometimes. It's
It
hard.
is, man. It's a
but-
struggle. I try to, I journal every day about different things, and it's typically work related. But I want to start. I almost feel wrong doing it because I'm forcing myself to think about it just from a work perspective, as opposed to like, let's just write about whatever's on your mind. Let's just journal positive thoughts around whatever, whether it's work, personal, anything. And
maybe work on your empty vision board.
I'm finishing that fucker tomorrow. I've got about half the pictures picked out, but I got to figure out the sizing I need to print the pictures because I can't print a bunch of full page photos. That's actually, honestly, that's what's delaying me the most is sizing the photos because I got to figure out like, all right, this one's got to be 5x7, and
Or you could just take those photos, put them on a thing on a collage on your computer, and then go to Kinko's. Get it printed out how you want it.
There you go. That's why you're here.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Clever.
I don't really have any
Clever girl.
photo editing software. I guess I could just lay them into a
Paint,
just-
MS
yeah,
Paint.
anything simple.
Paint probably could do something.
Yeah, that's true. And just tell them the size of that, and I need it printed out that size.
Or just don't use that piece of shit and get something actual. Frame a board.
I bought those for like $6 on Amazon and taped them together.
Exactly.
What, man? I fucking made do.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
Enjoy your board.
What's on your vision board?
The clouds, and the stars, because that's what I'm reaching for.
Gay.
I don't have a vision board. I don't want anything.
So what did what did you really take away from that little quote and passage?
Nothing. Just other than keep doing me. I just try not to worry about everyone else. Say fuck y'all. I got me.
Well, the part that's really interesting to me is the concept of kind of the whole thing of like you're responsible for anything and everything that happens to you and nobody else is.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that to an extent.
What's it said? The things that you are affected by outside circumstances. There are external circumstances that force themselves upon you. But there's you just gotta sometimes find a way to let those things have a minimal impact because they're gonna have an impact on you. But find a way to have those not be as an extreme impact on your life.
Well, I think there's a difference between letting them impact you emotionally, and then like certain things are going to influence others around you, and then how they're going to interact with you, and those things can kind of start to steamroll. Like,
And try to do your best to divert it.
oh,
Try to blow up the mountain before the avalanche happens.
weird. Did you just pull that one out of your butt, or
Yeah.
you heard that before?
Yeah, but it just came into mind. You said steamroll, just made me think of rolling a ball of snow down a hill, and as
Oh,
it picks up, more and more snow gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
But, to prevent avalanches, they blow up the mountain to loosen up that powder. So that all just kind of spiraled in right there real quick. Was it good? Has it made sense?
I like that one.
All right.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I think about that quite a bit where, I've got a lot of things kind of working in my mind right now that I want to do. And I had a conversation with myself actually about an hour before you got here where I was like, I want to do this thing. And I kind of pictured myself having a conversation with somebody more successful than I am, who I look up to. And basically I was like, I want to do this, and that, but I just, I'm not doing it right now. And he asked me like, well, why not? And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't have the time. And then his response was like,
No one has the time.
You don't have the time. So please explain to me how in your day you can't find the 1 hour a day it's going to take to do this. Please explain to me why you're sitting here having this conversation with me about why you don't have the time instead of just fucking doing that thing. And I was like, that would probably actually be his response. Like, think about it, go do it.
Yeah.
Just shut up and do it. Like,
Yeah, but going into things that are unknown, their circumstances are very scary.
oh yeah.
Because there's plenty of times that, I just want to, go and do stuff that makes me happy, like what I want to do. But it's like, man, will it work? Like I would have to, I would have to be fully invested in whatever it is. Like you'd have to go and just like fuck everything else and hope that it works out. Put everything you have into it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think getting back to what that guy's talking about, the success of that thing were you to take it on really comes back to you and how much effort and thought
That's what I'm saying.
and dedication
You had
put
to
into it.
you had to put yourself into it, but the problem is things don't succeed by being half-assed into things.
Fuck no.
You have to be fully invested, and unfortunately, sometimes being fully invested in things does not work out.
True.
You invest and you do your best, but sometimes you wrong timing. You either too early, too late to the show.
Yeah. Yeah, I had that experience very significantly personally when I lost an opportunity to start my own business because of things that were outside of my control.
The supplement?
To actually own a store, yeah. There was some stuff that happened behind a couple of closed doors outside of the things I was kind of partaking in that took away the opportunity. So, I mean, I was ready
Yeah, I
to
know
rock
you were.
and roll, and then everything
I
kind
was
of fell
doing.
apart.
I was doing shitty graphics for you.
Everything kind of fell apart on other people's end
Mm-hmm.
that made it a really dangerous deal, and I was like, no. So, yeah, but I mean, it. Who knows where it would have gone? But I damn sure would have put everything I had into it. I did lose a lot. Like that one did kind of crush me though when that fell through, because I felt like that was the point where I was like, I'm gonna go fucking do my own thing.
Mm-hmm. Be your own boss.
And then I was like, back into the workforce. So, I can't say I'm not happy now though. I mean, I technically, within a business, run my own business, and it allows me a lot of freedom. So, I'm cool with it.
That's good.
Yeah. Oh boy. Nothing else?
I think I had one more story about a guy who's received tons of offers for help because he went to jail for a couple of days because he left his 5 children alone while he went to work. So the story goes that his wife has like stage 4 cancer. She's in terrible shape. So I think she's there, but not able to take care of the kids, and they're all really young. But he had to go to work to pay for all the medical bills and everything that's going on. So there's just like tons of people offering help and everything like that to him because the story got out there that he went to jail for that. So, instead of people blasting him for not trying to pay to keep food and everything on the table, plus help out his dying wife, instead of just everyone just jumping on him for leaving the kids with, I'm assuming with her. But they say alone, but that's just like, well, then maybe she's in the hospital. But without any help, So he's gotten offers for like people to take care of his kids while he goes to work and keeps trying to support his family during this time.
Man, I'm going in so many directions in my head right now.
Well, it's
Like all I can think about is the first thing is like, what is it like for this guy?
yeah, to have 5 children and have a wife who's most likely going to die.
See, I guess that's the part that I think I may be wrong about this, but I think my wife and I have a unique relationship in the fact that like we still put each other first over our son. Like we had that agreement going into this, and it's still that way. Like she's still the most important person in my life, hands down. And that's all I can think about is like this guy. I mean, yes, of course you love your kids. I mean, in a way you can't describe. And that's the thing is it's a different love. But like to be dealing with that with your wife and then the kids and the job and just
Yeah, and then someone fucking rats you out as you're trying to.
but somebody that's my other struggle though. Somebody should.
Mm-hmm.
Like why do you have 5 kids?
Maybe
Part of me asked that question.
Maybe they like a big family. There's plenty of people who want big families.
Right.
And come on, it would be different if it was in a country with better medical help than fucking America. I'm sorry, but with cancer like that aggressive, chemo, stays at the hospital, it's like hundreds of $1,000s in debt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but even
yeah,
people
but that would
really
be the case no matter how many kids they had. That doesn't.
Exactly, but that's the point though. It's still like you could be making enough money to
Yeah,
support
but whatever this guy's making at work is not paying those medical bills. He's going there to feed the kids.
Yes,
Those medical bills will never be paid.
But it could have been yes, but it's also part of it though. Maybe to keep her in the treatments.
Possibly.
Maybe she maybe because of this she lost her job and lost some health coverage. So now he's the only one.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is like there are a couple assumptions. I'd like to read the story. There are a couple assumptions that could be made here. One, a couple of those kids theoretically could be old enough to, by some people's standards, be left alone by themselves.
9, I think the story said the oldest was.
I wouldn't feel comfortable. Some people might. I think at
I
was going to say at 9 I may have been left alone, but my
yeah.
brother was there. He was older, so.
But again, he was what? 14?
He was 12 actually when I was
Okay.
9. So, I guess
Yes.
I struggle with this a lot because
Sorry.
it's absolutely these people's right to have 5 kids, but I have a really hard time feeling like really sorry for people who have a bunch of kids and are broke. And I'm sure that's a terrible thing to say, but it's like, hey man, you had the first one and you saw what it took, and then you decided to have 4 more.
What if because no one plans for having cancer, all right? They're not like you. My cousin wants 5 kids. She doesn't work. He is a what is his job? I mean, he works at a correctional facility. Like he's deputy sheriff or something like that.
So he makes about $55,000.
Not much.
Yeah. So how's that fair to the kids?
They're doing fine. They have plenty of money.
But they have 5 children?
No, they don't have 5. They want a lot.
Then how are they going to support those kids?
She's very good with the budget.
For 5 kids.
I bet she could do it. She homeschools them
Living where?
in Lubbock.
Okay. That's one thing. You cannot do that here. Like if you lived in Arlington, Texas with 5 kids on 55 grand,
Yeah, but you don't.
it's over.
That's again. You don't live in Arlington, Texas. Then you be fucking smart. If you want a big family, you find a way to.
You move to the boonies just because you want a big family?
Lubbock's not the boonies, you fucking asshole.
I'm saying like it's not Dallas.
Okay,
not-
and
it's
the
not a
story
place
was
with a
not
high
from
cost of
Dallas.
living.
Then don't live. Yeah, you don't have to live in a place with a high cost of
Right.
living.
My question is, at what point does your desire for this weird number, just this number of kids that you just picked out of thin air?
I didn't say they
when
wanted
does the
5.
well-being of the children become more important? Like, would you rather have 1 kid who has a great life or 5 who are fucking poor their whole lives?
They're doing fine. They only have 2 right now because they lost like 3.
Okay, that's great. Not everybody's going to be in that situation. So, like, these people couldn't have foreseen that the mother would have cancer, and nobody wants that, and nobody can foresee that.
Yeah.
My wife and I make great money and can't afford to have 5 kids.
Yeah, you could. You wouldn't live in this house.
No, we wouldn't. But that's I'm saying like
you wouldn't live in
you've
this
gotta-
house. You
you-
wouldn't be on your. You wouldn't have all the fucking guns you have, or you would have been smarter with your cars when you were younger. Like you would have been. You wouldn't have. You'd have worked through your debt first before you had that amount of kids. Like you wouldn't. If you were planning on this, planning on a big family. Either one of you needs to make a shit ton of money, or you need to learn how to budget well.
we do both, but we only have one kid, so it's going to work out better for everybody in the end. Like everything of his forever will be paid for and will be great in great
Yeah,
shape
well-
financially. Isn't that what? Am I crazy or is that not what you want?
At 18, you don't take care of kids anymore.
18 years is a long time.
Yeah.
Average price to raise a kid's $1 million.
Clothes
$1
don't
million.
Clothes don't cost much if you go to places like Ross or some shit.
But
If you go, you can go to the grocery store. You can buy plenty of food in
dude,
bulk. To
school clothes for 5 kids at Ross is still a lot of fucking money.
and if you plan for that every year,
What if you don't even have money to plan for it because you have to buy groceries?
then again, you shouldn't have had 5 kids.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yes,
It sounds like these people shouldn't have had 5 kids.
you don't see. You're saying that, but you have no clue what their story is. All you know is that they're struggling because she has cancer. So
But we don't know if that's why they're struggling because if she didn't work, it doesn't matter. They're not paying those medical bills. Nobody can afford that shit. Like if Laura got cancer and was going through chemo, we'd be fucked.
But maybe he was able to pay enough to keep the treatments going.
I think he's probably making enough to make his insurance payments.
Maybe that's it. I don't
Yeah,
know. Maybe their premium skyrocketed because
it could be. I'd love to learn more about the situation, but I'm not saying. I said the first thing that came to mind was like, I feel for that. Like I can't put myself in that guy's shoes, and to think about what it would be like is terrible. But what would it be like if they only had one kid? Would it be nearly as hard as it is?
probably still would have sucked. Yeah. Maybe at that point, then they could afford to send them all to daycare during the day. Because one of them is 9, so it's summertime, so they're not in school. So maybe they couldn't afford to send all 5 to daycare.
Right,
Daycare's fucking
yeah,
expensive.
Daycare is insanely expensive.
Yeah, maybe the mom wasn't working. Maybe she took care of the kids, but now because she's sick, she couldn't. So that throws it all off. So they budgeted to take care of the kids, fine. But as soon as she was in the hospital, now there's no one to take care of the kids. And maybe they don't live near family, or all their family's dead, or maybe the family just doesn't give a fuck about them.
Yeah, and just no fucking neighbors or like. I mean, yeah, I can't.
Well, at some point,
can't put myself in this guy's
at some
shoes.
point, his pride got in the way of not asking for help.
Maybe, yeah, it could be.
Okay, there is that. But now, look, he went to jail. He realized he fucked up because he left his kids alone. It is a dangerous situation for 5 kids to be left alone, especially if the oldest one was like 9, from what I remember in the story. That means they're not all very old within
Oh
there.
my god, it's fucking terrifying.
So now he's getting help because and he's willing to accept it because sometimes you fuck up and then you realize, oh,
Yeah.
now my pride's not worth it. My pride's not worth my kids potentially
yeah, I
hurting
mean, what
themselves
happens if
and
one
being
of those
left.
kids dies while you're gone? Like,
Exactly.
how would you feel?
Yeah, terrible. 1, your wife's dying. 2, when your kids dies.
Fuck.
And to have to tell your dying wife that probably would kill her at that point. Say, hey, yeah, little Jimmy, he dead. So,
Well, I mean, I guess the net outcome is really good
yes,
that these people are helping.
support from the community.
Yeah, and it's good that it's genuine because I was just kind of having this thought of like I wish there were a way that there could be some kind of social thing where like people who are struggling could get on some website and find support for this. And the problem is there are going to be a lot of people who just make up shit. Like there are a lot of people I think who start crowdfunding deals as like a con.
Oh yeah, no, there is in my circles of things entertainment I see, Twitch. There was a guy who would play games in a wheelchair, Like he was saying he was disabled, and one day he fucked up and forgot to turn his stream off and stood up and started walking away. But he got,
Wow.
he got famous for being a disabled video game player and got plenty of donations based on, yeah, I mean, he pulled the sympathy thing, the sympathy card. Like, hey, I'm disabled, but I'm still gonna be, happy and have a good time. And he
Wow.
fucked up and stood up and
I wonder if those people could. It's probably not enough money to for them to go after him, but there could be some kind of class action suit.
no, I bet you there's plenty of people make a good amount of money on there where that's their full time job.
Hmm. Yeah, but I'm saying if you only donated $100, you're not going to file suit against a guy for $100. You know what I'm saying? It'd have to be class action, so it's
Mm-hmm.
everybody who donated to him at least gets their money back or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the girls on there,
Well,
most of them showing their ass and titties constantly to the brink of what as far as they can go without getting banned.
what's the limit for that? Like actual penetration or something?
No, you can't actually show nipples, vagina. You had to have it is very close on that cleavage. It just depends. I don't know the full rules because I'm not a woman, so
Yeah.
I look for that. That's what I look for when I'm scrolling for the videos of Twitch. I'm like, aha, lady, watching her. I don't watch guys. I only watch the guys that I know are good at games, and then I watch them play.
Yeah.
The rest of the time, if I just want to watch someone play, I'm like, where's a hot woman? Hey, you're attractive. Oh, you're cute. I want to listen to you talk and play games.
Hmm.
Be creep. I don't donate to them. Fuck them. I ain't giving no money. They're streaming it for free. And then I hear some girls talking. I'm like, oh, you were maybe 18. Oh shit. And you were born way after me. I'm old, and you'd say like, oh my god, this is such an old song. And it was like the early 2000s. And I'm like, oh fuck me, god
Yeah.
damn it, I'm an old man. I'm singing, MC Hammer. Like, man, that's an old song. She's singing like some NSYNC, and she thinks that's an old song. I'm like, fuck me, I'm old.
Yeah.
Listen to Ignition again last night. Just wanted to hear it again.
I can't remember the last time I heard that song. So.
Summer 2005, probably, because that's when it was. That's literally I was back in Lubbock that summer after we graduated, because that's about when that song came out. That song was played every hour.
I'm so glad I don't listen to the radio anymore.
Just constantly, and we loved it every time. Every fucking time. Rolling down the street, fucking windows down. Just like, yeah. Roll my hands through my throat. Whatever he says. I can't remember right now. Running her hands through my fro. Bouncing on 24s. Why they say on the radio.
20 foes.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So.
Oh my God, the fucking rims craze back in the day with
the spinners,
26s and spinners and all that fucking horse shit.
Yeah, but that was that. I just wanted to listen to it again because it's a good song. It makes me happy to hear that song because it reminds me of a better time when I was younger. I'm just doing dumb shit, just cruising. Just the boys piled up in the truck, cruising down the street.
Yeah, I mean the invincibility that we thought we had was, I mean, it's a pretty liberating feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Just thinking like,
oh yeah,
my whole life's ahead of me, man. I'm gonna be the king of the world.
Yeah, I'm gonna drive 115 miles an hour down the street. I'll give a fuck.
Yeah, a little too much of that.
Yeah.
Shit. Oh, all right. Well, I think it might be time to wrap it up.
Wrap up this inspiration cast. Positivity cast.
I'm so fucking ready for next Saturday. It's just about all I think about, except for the fact that I'm having brunch with my wife tomorrow. I'm pretty excited about that. I think that's going to be the highlight of my next 7 days, that fight.
I can't wait.
I'm
glad I don't have to pay for it.
Yeah. So
I got out of it.
Yeah, Woo! Just a quick update. We were planning to not only do an episode that night, but also be live streaming during the fight on Twitch. Probably going to be a little bit of a change of plans. We're going to some friend's house to watch the fight, to watch Conor McGregor become, if he pulls off what I want him to pull off, he will become the most famous athlete of all time.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like, Connor will be the #1 name for babies for the next 5 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he'll
I'll-
be the
I
most
will-
recognizable human being
I
on
will
earth.
go find a girl that night, impregnate her, and boy or girl, it's
Connor,
Connor.
Connor, and Connorella.
No, Connor. No, she'll. If I have a girl, it'll be Connor as well.
I bet there will be a lot of girl names coming out like that.
Her middle name will be Connor.
There you go. So
Some other Irish name though. Got to keep it going. So like, Lassie.
Shillelagh.
Shillelagh Connor
I
Melton.
don't know a lot of Irish names, like female names. I don't know, like Mickey,
Patty.
Oh,
There's
Patty.
Patty. There you go.
Yeah, mother-in-law's name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess some standards would be like Michael and Thomas and things like that.
Tommy.
Yeah. We will be recording episode 26. We probably won't be live streaming on Twitch because we're going to be enjoying the fight with our friends. But we'll get that episode out to you guys. Spoiler alert, in case you are worried, we're going to record before the fight, and we're also going to record after the fight. So
Yes.
if for some just ridiculous reason, by the time we release the episode on Sunday, you don't know what happened, I guess wait to listen, but I'm pretty sure the whole fucking world's
I
going to
mean,
know.
every fucking website's gonna have
Oh,
something.
yeah, it's going to be the
about it.
headline on everything.
Yeah.
So good luck on the internet or
Yeah.
on TV.
Everything.
It's going to be everywhere.
Yeah.
It's going to crush the fucking Pacquiao Mayweather numbers like so hard.
Oh, it's gonna crush everything.
yeah. It's going to be outrageous.
It's going to push and probably beat Super Bowl numbers, and it's not even. And we're having to pay extra for that shit.
well, they're talking about like I think the Pacquiao Mayweather was like 5 million pay-per-view buys. I would not be surprised if it doubled that. But when you think about pay-per-view buys, like 5 million buys on pay-per-view might be, 30 to 40 million people watching or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to argue, I bet worldwide, 200 to 300 million people are going to watch this fucking fight. It's
Oh yeah,
ridiculous.
every bar's gonna have it
Oh
on.
my God, it's going to be so great.
Yeah.
Dude, Connor's so ready. I've really been like diving deep into his strategy and his history and his game, and I think he's got so much better of a chance than people think. And dude, he's the thing about him, man. And this goes back to like self-affirmation and belief and positivity. He 100% believes he's going to win this fight by a knockout. I
Mhm.
mean, there's no doubt in his mind whatsoever.
I hope he does it in the second or third round. I want it to be a fight because I don't want any 10-second knockout because then, Mayweather would go, he got a lucky shot and took me down. Like I want to
I don't
see.
give a fuck. I mean, yeah, I'd like to see him standing there for at least 30 seconds, but no, if he dropped him on the first shot, which is not going to happen, but
Let's say it did. Say he got a lucky shot. Maybe Mayweather comes in a little too cocky, gets clocked. I mean, I was watching some of Mayweather's older fights, and he got rocked a few times. Like he's gotten better over the years at his defense, but
yeah.
there's a
He's
few.
not-
There's a few of them that I'm like, man, if you really got rocked, he would have been down.
I'm confident that the things he does to normal orthodox boxers who stand in front of him and throw, he will not be able to do to Connor because Connor moves like nothing he's ever seen, switches his stance and his fighting style constantly, and is so much bigger that he will just remain in his fucking face the whole time. Like
Mhm.
Floyd's not going to be able to tie him up when he gets in tight. Not going to happen.
No, because
He ties up guys when they get in tight and start working the body.
yeah,
Connor's just going to fucking shove him off and be like, dude, I've got 5 inches of reach on you. Let's do this.
Yep.
Those numbers they're given on reach are
Plus-
fucking horseshit.
plus Connor's used to grappling.
Yeah.
Like, he's an MMA
Who
fighter.
gives a shit?
Yeah,
See, if you saw any of the footage against Paulie Malignaggi when he's pulling down the back of his head and hitting him in the face, everybody's like, it's dirty boxing. I'm like, hey, man, it's allowed. He's going to do it. Like, good luck. I don't think you realize how strong this person is. Like, he's a freak show.
yep.
Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
I'm hoping to convince him to record video. So what we're gonna do is what we've been talking about wanting to do is a vehicle cast where we have so much more fun and we're more open and we say more stupid shit when we're driving. That's when we have our most fun when we're doing those. So I really want to record it and get video capture of it. So I'm gonna come over here like 2 hours early just so we can have time to set it up.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Let me know how that works out for you. I'll be inside with my family. You can
Come on, don't be
sweat it out in the
don't
driveway.
be a bitch.
5:30 in August.
I'll turn the AC on the truck. I'll be inside. I'll close the doors. Hey, yeah, I don't need to be outside and leave the truck on.
All right. Cool. Well, we hope you guys will join us for that. Hit us up with feedback. What's Next Pod at Gmail. What's Next Pod? YouTube, Instagram, Twitter,
Twitch.
and I guess
Oops.
Twitch.
Whenever he stops being a bitch and comes over to the house.
Look, man, I work 2 full-time jobs. Okay.
Full-time jobs.
Being a father is a
Yeah.
full-time job. Okay. It's like super stressful.
We could totally do this in my place. I can just take the equipment home.
Feel free. We'll just Skype.
No, you gotta come over.
Nah. I don't think so.
Why do I always got? Why do I always got? Why do I always have to come over here? I mean, it doesn't make sense. What kind of friend does that? Jeez. I'm such a good friend.
So, number 25.
Yay!
Hey,
Positivity.
another semi-milestone. We're a quarter of the way there.
Hey, our insurance premiums have gone down.
Is
Woohoo!
it 25 or 26? Oh, it's 26 you get off your parents' health insurance. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Emails, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. Hit us up. Any comments, feedback, questions. Any ways you want to keep in touch with us. If you want to come here and rub our feet while we record this, you can hit us up and we'll shoot you our address. That'll be lovely.
If you want to send us some better chairs, 'cause this chair sucks. I mean, it's better than the other ones, but still not very good.
Word.
I'd appreciate that.
All right. I'm out. Bye.